Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Stay True Committed podcast. Thank you guys for joining back. I know it's been a couple of weeks, so I hope everybody's had a happy Thanksgiving. And so now we're back in effect to give you guys resources, to give you guys great conversation on the Stay True Committed podcast. We know that the Stay True Committed podcast is centered around WCD coaching. And for those out there who don't know what WCD coaching stands for, it stands for Women Committed to Dreams. And so I have a special guest with me here today, and we're going to all find out a lot about her, and we're going to find out about our path to purpose. You guys know that this month we are discussing activating our dreams, activating our purpose, because we're getting ready to go into another year. And so, you guys, I want to introduce Cassandra Rosa to everyone, and she is going to give us insight about how to get to our path to purpose. So, Cassandra, can you, and also, you guys, she is a life coach and she is a creator. She speaks on the path to purpose, so that's why this topic is so phenomenal. That's why this topic is so important, because she speaks on the depths of your path to purpose. And we know that, you guys know a lot about that, but there's a lot more things that we need to know. We need to find out how to get there. So I'm going to let Cassandra take the stage now, and I want her to just share with us, Cassandra, where you're from, how did you get into being a life coach, and how do you define your path to purpose?
Well, first and foremost, thank you so much for having me on the podcast, Karen. I'm really, really excited to be here with you, having this beautiful conversation with you and connecting with the audience.
Yeah.
So, like Karen said, I'm an intuitive life coach, a certified one at that, and healer. And my mission is really to help millennials to find clarity of their path and purpose so that they can confidently create a fulfilling life and business. And it's been quite a journey to get here, like most, and I'm excited to share that with you today. So, from a young age, I knew I wanted to make a difference in the world. It was just this weird thing of like, make a difference, make a difference. That was kind of rolling
Yeah.
around in my mind repetitively, and I didn't know what that meant. So, come the time of grade 10, 11, here in Canada, I'm from Toronto, Canada.
Oh, wow.
They have you select what you want to do, with university and college. And I remember thinking, now what am I going to do? Like, what is going to be a career that's going to feel good and it's going to help me make a difference? So I ended up going with psychology because I love giving people advice and sharing insights. And halfway through my degree, they changed the qualification to 12 years to be a psychologist. And
Wow.
something in my gut was like, this doesn't feel right. So I ended up finishing my degree and I did some soul searching on a trip in Africa. And I volunteered in an after school program with kids and
Wow.
fell in love with mentorship. Having those light bulb moments, doing activities with kids and kind of taking them under my wing. But when I
Yeah.
returned to Canada, again, there was another now what moment. I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? Like, how can I get paid to do this mentoring thing? This is kind of when self development and coaching was just kind of kicking off. So I decided to get a corporate job and I'm like, okay, I'm going to make a lot of money one day and I'm going to make a foundation. Like, that's how I'm going to make the difference. It's going to be uncomfortable now, but it is what it is. Like, a lot of people have jobs that they don't like, right?
Right.
And again, didn't feel right. There was like a misalignment. And I ended up just leaving corporate and getting a sales job and spending a lot of time investing in my personal development and business development and spiritual development. And along that path, things unfolded. I was doing vision board workshops with kids, and I started my company in the way it is now of really helping people find clarity because I fell in love with mentorship and I
Mm.
loved setting goals and dreams and developing myself. And I said, wow, if I knew this when I was younger, like I would have been in a different scenario.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it naturally unfolded. It all started with one personal development seminar. and then a bunch of different like puzzle pieces coming into fruition to create where I am now. And I feel so fulfilled and grateful to be here and share that story with you all.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And, when you were talking about working with the children and, going to Africa to teach the children, do you coach children? That's my question. Do you coach children or no?
So I wasn't even a coach at that time. I was just kind of
Wow.
volunteering after school. And, we're there supposed to be helping them with math and all these things, but it naturally unfolded that we were doing sports or doing arts types of crafts and stuff. And then spending the quality time with them, hearing about their life. And just, I still am in contact with them. So this was 2013. So all these years later,
Oh,
and they're like my
wow.
little sisters. So yeah. When I started doing the vision board workshops, they were kids that
Mhm.
we were doing after school programs, going into kids and working with middle school kids. But as my thing has evolved, I've really focused a lot on women and millennials.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. 'Cause it seems like you have, you know, a double win there, because you know how to be around and educate children, and I'm pretty sure you've heard some of the things that they've probably even had to endure or go through. So that's
Yeah.
awesome. I know that that was a great trip. I actually would love to visit someday, but yeah, that's a great experience. Um, so yeah, when I listen to you, Cassandra, talk about how about your degree and what you had went to school for. Um, I'm actually entering for counseling, and I said I wanted to add that to the certifications. And like you said, it took so long. And for counseling, I guess you can go to three stages. So first, it's a bachelor's, and
Mhm.
then there's a master's, then there's a PhD. So the PhD was
Right.
going to be 8 years.
Right.
And I'm just
Right.
like, wow, if I meant to, go that far, but like I said, I can't say, how far I need to go, but I said I know it's something that needs to take place. But now they've added on so many lectures and so many courses to
Mhm.
certain things take a time. But I just feel like that you have to find out what your niche is too, and just stick to it and be like, okay, if I got to do this, or if I don't have to go these many years, because sometimes they can tell us, okay, well, you need to go for this many years, and come to find out you don't. So yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely understand that.
Yeah, it's alignment of path, right? Something in my gut told me no. I have so many friends that I went to university with here in Canada that they continued their postgraduate education. But to be honest with you, my journey is evolved in such a way that I think I've invested more outside of university education
Yeah.
based on coaching, based
Yeah.
on seminars,
Mhm.
books, mentorship. And what I love about kind of being out here and doing it this way in my path was I've got a chance to practice it. Because sometimes when you go into these programs, you do all the fundamentals, but then you got to start from ground zero, like
Oh
12
yeah.
years later, right? So
Yeah.
I'm really grateful that my path unfolded the way it did. And I really honor and commend everybody for their own unique path. It's not a one size fits all at all.
Yeah, that's right, because, even becoming a coach and getting certified, and like you said, you don't really realize, for me, I didn't realize, okay, well, this is something that I had been doing all along, but I wasn't really putting it to test. And people think, oh, that's easy work. No, it's not easy work. It's a lot of work, because like you said, webinars, workshops, and then you're taking time out of the day. You're not only coaching yourself, but you're coaching other people, and it's a gift because other people need you. They need your resources, and guess what? You're going to get something from it too. So, I just want to say big ups to all the different types of coaches, because we are, really needed. And some
Mhm.
people don't realize, and they think it's just a thing, but it's not. It's bigger than what people think it is. So, what? How did you even get to the road of saying, you know, this is my definite path. This is my definite
Yeah.
purpose.
Yeah. So I loved personal development. Like I became a junkie. I went to like every course imaginable. Yes, yes, yes. Invest, like be present and do it. And for a really long time, I'm like, how can I be a coach? Like, why wouldn't they work with Tony Robbins or like Bob Proctor? Like, why would they work with little old me, you know?
Mhm.
And this was a
Mhm.
story I told myself for many years in that transition from the
Yeah.
vision board workshops into where I am now. And there was a really, really profound experience that happened. I have a short story to tell.
Okay.
That I was in a seminar and we were all in this group doing a group martial arts type of routine. And we
Mhm.
had to do it in unison. Otherwise, we would repeat it. They're like, I don't care if we're here all night. We got to get it in unison. So we were doing the routine, and I saw one of my good friends, and I knew she had expertise in that martial art.
Yeah.
So I could see her and I kind of modeled her. And then there was this girl beside me, and she was the reason we had to stop and repeat over and over. She wasn't getting it. And I remember because I was modeling my friend that she couldn't see, right? Because the way that everybody was standing in this group, I started to get better. And
Mhm.
it got to this point that I was just a couple of steps ahead of the girl beside me. And I tapped her on the shoulder and I said, okay, watch me, model me.
Yeah.
So she was modeling me, I was modeling my friend. And then in a couple tries, she got it. And it was such a breakthrough for me because I realized you don't have to be Tony Robbins or Bob Proctor with millions of followers on Instagram
Right.
to make a difference in someone's life. You only need to be a couple steps ahead. So I think that in acknowledging that and understanding that, I realized people do need me. I can add value to people. I can be a coach, and I gave myself permission. So that was such a profound moment. And I shared this story with you today because I know there's lots of people with infinite knowledge, with
Yeah.
expertise, and they're comparing themselves to the big guys out there, the Jay Shettys out there, right? And I think it's important to acknowledge that you just need to be a couple steps ahead of someone else to give them that breakthrough that could change their whole life and their destiny.
Yeah, I agree because when you were naming um some of the coaches and speakers, I thought about John Maxwell. I thought about so many times, and don't get me wrong, like he's got some great speakers and he's wonderful too or whatever, but that's his and that's his brand. And I remember that was a light bulb for me, like I wanted to find, my own coaching brand. I wanted to find my own voice
Right.
or whatnot. And I know that some people do, enter other programs so they can just see where they fit in, and that's okay. But like you said, when we have our mind made up and we're like, okay, I don't have to be this person or that person over here. I just have to use my voice, and it is somebody out there that is actually going to need to hear my voice. They're going to need these resources that we're trying to help them with, and that we're not going to try to help them, but we are helping them as
Right.
well as ourselves. So that's a good advice right there when you said that about you just have to accept that I can do it. I
Mhm.
don't have to be like anybody else, but just
Right.
myself. And so when we talk about purpose, a lot of us we have uh we have identified purpose. A lot of us haven't identified the purpose that we need to walk in, but even when we find it, sometimes it's still sitting there and laying dormant. So and that's when we talk about, how do we just kind of like turn the light bulb on the purpose? How do we really activate it? Like I know what it is. It's here. Um I've accepted it, but I still don't know what to do with that. What
Right.
advice would you give pretty much about that?
Yeah. So, a big analogy that kind of was channeled down to me recently is when you're a kid and you're doing like connect the dots, and you're making this beautiful picture, and you might not know what exactly this picture is, right? You might
Right.
know it's a Dalmatian, you may know it's a sun, right? That you're making,
Yeah.
but you don't know how it's going to look like. So, to do connect the dots, it's like a series of events. You have to connect one dot to the next, to the next, to the
Yes.
next. It's a series of events that create your purpose. It's saying yes to a networking opportunity, or having a conversation with someone new, or reading a book, or checking out a podcast. Each little step is important for the greater picture and important for the greater purpose. And your
Yes.
purpose is going to grow and evolve, and you're going to have many purposes along the way, right? I thought
Right.
I'm going to be doing vision board workshops forever, and my life has evolved and changed, right? Like back then,
Right.
that's what I thought, right? So I think it's really important to lean in. And if you're really looking to find your purpose, to say yes to all the opportunities that are gifted to you, that are divinely aligned on your path. Like I was mentioning, right? Even listening to this podcast, this could
Yeah.
be one of those connect the dot moments for you to help you find what your purpose is. It's like, we all have it. Sometimes we look for our purpose outside, and I think every instance is almost like key turn, right? Like we all have the spot inside of us, and
Yeah.
you meet the coaches and healers and people in your life that turn the key just a little bit more to unlock that inside of you. So,
Mhm.
the smallest piece of advice to keep it simple is just say yes to the opportunities. Create a year of yes when you're looking to find your purpose, and just trust one step at a time and you will get there, and it will be so clear that it'll be
Yes.
comedic almost of, oh yeah, this makes sense now.
Yeah, I like that. The connecting I like that analogy, connecting the dots, because um it makes you think, okay, well, that's the first step that I need to do. I got to do my homework, and this is something that I had mentioned before too. Like, it doesn't stop there after you identify, after you connect to the path of your purpose. It's like, okay, I got to start working. I got to do my homework. It's like we can't just sit around, and like you say, we have to say yes to everything. And I even mentioned, and you can let me know if you agree, Cassandra, but I even mentioned before that it's scary. So, if it's scary and then it's something that hits home from you, it's something that hits your inner spirit that you definitely need to run with and do. Because if it's something that you're passionate about, and you're always thinking about it, or you can just be out anywhere or doing anything, and then it comes up, and then you know that it's attached to you. So I do wanted to share that it can be a lot scary at times, but you have to be the one to motivate yourself, because everybody else is not going to always motivate you.
Right. I agree 100%.
Yeah, yeah. And so, wow. So we're talking about our path to purpose. This is good, and I love always talking about purpose. And so, even when you walk down the road, walk down the path to your purpose, what bumps, what feelings did you have? What bumps in the road? What turns that did you take? Did you take any wrong turns, or did you even try to talk yourself out of it anytime?
Mhm. Yeah, I think it was the becoming a coach thing. I think my first business that I started when I was like 21, doing that vision board workshop, I had a business partner at the time, and we ended up going our separate ways. And I'm like, oh, this is happening to me. This is happening to me. This sucks. Why is this happening? Woe is me. And I think in a lot of opportunities when you're finding your purpose, there's going to be these big plot twists, like when you're
Yeah.
watching the movie and you're expecting it to go one way, and then it's like, but bam, like it goes in a
Yeah.
completely different direction. And a big thing, because I know a lot of people are going through big changes right now with the
Mhm.
pandemic in the world, the state of the world. It's like really reminding yourself that this is happening for me. Everything that's happening is happening for me. It's not
Yes.
to me. We're not victims in our own life. There's always a greater purpose. And
Yes.
again, with like the connect the dot moments, it's kind of like, this is a dot connection now that's going to lead to the greater picture that we have in store. So I remember lots of stuff about really stepping into the coach. The thing with my business partner was a big plot twist for me. um like different launches, some launches
Yeah.
being more successful than others,
Mhm.
right? Like,
Right.
create that doubt. But I think it really comes down to, in my coaching, I really preach to, have clarity of your vision, and
Yes.
to tap into that inner confidence and release the rest, release the self doubt, release the lack of confidence. Because as you grow and evolve, you're going to ascend to new levels, and you're going to come against new things that need to be cleared to have you excel. So, really being aware of what your mind is telling you along the way to help you move through that. And that was one of my biggest lessons along the journey for sure.
Oh wow. So, thank you for sharing that because I didn't even know you had started a business even that young or
Mhm.
whatnot. And so, having with that not excelling to what it was supposed to excel to, and finding out that you were supposed to be on your own as a coach
Mhm.
and coaching people. What did you find out? Were there some different things that you just knew that when you came back into the business that you couldn't do? I know some people do now have business partners.
Mhm.
So, what is your experience on having a successful business partner if you're going to have one?
Yeah, I think it really comes to like the divine plan. Some people are meant to co-create and, at the forefront and have business partners, and some people are meant to go through your own path. And I think it's again like some friendships, relationships,
Yeah,
business partnerships. Some are meant to be in there for a season and some are forever. And it's really just
right.
having so much gratitude. Like me and her are still amazing friends, and she was a big reason I even got into the industry. So
Yeah.
I think to be successful is being present and being grateful and taking it one step at a time. And if things don't go the way that you planned and there's another plot twist,
Yeah.
just trust that it's happening for you. It's for the greatest good.
Yeah, I agree because I'm glad that you even mentioned that because you can, have close relationships with your business partners, but like you said that sometimes that's at that time that's not what you are meant to do. It doesn't mean that you're not meant to stay friends or
Mhm.
still have the same family member, but it's meant that okay, he or she has a purpose and so do I. But like you said, that was like a beginning start for you
Mhm.
guys. So you kind of already knew the do's and the don'ts in the business world.
Right.
So pretty much it's like Cassandra, you got to up and up
Mhm.
on just building the business foundation
Right.
and what needs to take place and what not needs to take place or whatnot.
Right.
So that's good. Yeah.
Always a lesson to be learned in every experience in life.
Yeah. And even with you creating, and I love that you're talking about and speaking about vision boards. I love vision boards, and I think that's a great resource and great tool
Yeah.
for clients and everything. And I think a lot of people don't really do them regularly like they're supposed to, because sometimes people think, oh, I'll just do it once and never look back on it. What is the key components to having these vision boards and to continue to keep doing them?
Key things. Okay. So I would say like the biggest things that people miss are having it visible, funny enough, right? Like I did a lot of traveling the past few years. And I realized, lugging this big physical thing around wasn't working. So I ended up making it some like the subtlest change of making it my wallpaper on my computer changed
Mhm.
everything.
Oh
So having
yeah.
it visible so you can see it every single day is so, so, so important. Like you were saying, I think updating it consistently is
Mhm.
also huge. So
Mhm.
whether it be a yearly practice, or as you grow and change and evolve, give yourself permission to make those subtle changes, to update, to add new things to your vision board. I think is so huge. And I think, yes, looking at it is important, but
Yeah.
also going deeper and really connecting with the why behind it and visualizing yourself in the vision board. Like
Oh
for
yeah.
example, have this beautiful photo of an ocean front beach house.
Uh,
And when I look at the picture, there's a chair there, and I imagine just sitting there and having the ocean breeze and like smelling like the saltiness of the ocean. So, like
yeah.
going deep, like putting yourself in there in that vision board is like such a subtle shift that will make the world of a difference.
Yeah, I love that because that you said that you got to go deeper because you got to visualize and put yourself there. And then when you don't do something, that's not quite right, or you may stumble and you be like, okay, well, this part didn't work. So put something else there and say, let me try this, like you said before, and let me see what else is going to work. Because you got to be able to just still visualize yourself there, even though, okay, well, even sometimes we try to put a time on certain things. I know even sometimes myself I do. We try to put a time on and be like, okay, well, I've, waited this long, but things happen at the right time and on
Right.
the right time. So I definitely agree with you when you say you have to go deeper and visualize yourself even in that. And even finding your path um, to coaching and life coaching and, going through more than one business. You start a business with your friend, and it's like now that that you're here, I know that you mentioned earlier that one of those key moments was accepting yourself and saying, there are people out there that need me, and I
Right.
am needed in the community and world today. So after you recognize that, what are some other steps that you can give to the audience that they can take to reach um, their purpose, even after discovering, okay, I can do this. Let's go. What's next?
Hmm. So they figured out their purpose and what's next. I think one of the biggest things that stop us is the how, right?
Mhm.
I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to be a coach. I don't know how. And I think it's like if we just take a moment to take the I don't know out of the vocabulary just for a
Yes.
second, just put it on the shelf, just put it over there and
Yes.
take a pen and paper and just hypothesize. What do I think I'm going to need to do to step up and be a coach? Okay, I'm going to have to write Instagram, make an Instagram account. I'm going to have to create some captions, have a mini photo shoot, right? You write things down, just like do a big list.
Yes.
And then literally get a highlighter or with your pen and just number things off of where you want to start so that whenever you're like, I don't know what to do next, I don't know how, you have this master list of
Yes.
things that you can use to go to. And so that's a simple and practical thing. And then if you're needing the help and you're wanting the guidance, hire a coach.
Yes.
Mentorship is huge. It's a game changer. I think it's why, like, once I committed to my purpose, 6 months, I left my full time job because I surpassed my income from coaching, right? And it was
Wow.
because I hired coaches
Mhm.
that told me the business fundamentals, how to do Facebook ads back in the day, right? Like knowing those
Yes.
things that were the question marks on that to do list that I was making. So I think once you have someone to help you from the beginning, and it's like, when you walk on the beach, it's harder to walk and form your own footsteps. But if you step in ones that existed, it's an easier process. It's not as so daunting. So if you're
Yeah.
needing help, talk to someone, talk to Karen, talk to myself, and we have walked that path. So we'll be able to help you to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, I'm glad that well look, I'm getting ready to say well done. Well done. That was good because like we were both saying earlier, consistency is the key. It's a process and it's not going to be get the perfect word out of your head. Because nothing is going to be perfect for anybody else, but it can be
Right.
perfect for you. And as you take those steps and you just, keep plugging at it and you keep working on it, it's going to define itself and it's going to get, it's going to get better. And just like you said, Cassandra, just like leaving your job, you know, even after they're taking that leap of faith to leave the corporate world. And I've met people who have done that. As for me, I love healthcare, so I'm still in the healthcare field or whatnot, actually on the side. So, and because I also do health and nutrition coaching as
Mhm.
well, but I left the corporate world. I'm not, technically, even though I'm in the healthcare setting and I'm in the hospital, I think the corporate world is a little bit different because it was like more of these high organizations where you have to um they want you to do this or they want you to be this or whatever, but you have a purpose to be on your own, build your own foundation, find your own path to purpose. And who's to say, even with healthcare, with any corporate job, you've got to answer to somebody. But
Right.
I had to find out myself that how I want to make my own schedule. I
Right.
want to answer to my own self. Okay, you may want to do something on the side because that's what you want to do, but make
Mhm.
sure you have time, for your purpose. Make sure you have time for what you're trying to build, because if you don't, you'll never start it. So I thank you so much, Cassandra, for even giving that analogy, even with connecting the dots. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm just glad everybody's able to hear the information and the resources about the path to purpose, because we know people have purpose. It's purpose in each and every one of us. We
Right.
just have to, activate it. And so, can you share any closing remarks, and where people even can connect with you even after this podcast?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So many different ways to connect. I hang out the most on Instagram. So it's Cassandra Rosa A is my handle. I also have a podcast. It's called Clarity Conversations. Karen's actually going to be a
Yay.
guest. So I'm
Yay.
sure once we have that link all set, we'll put that in the show notes there as well. And I think the biggest take home message that I want people to be left with is that we all have a purpose, just like Karen said, and we all have the right to have a fulfilling life. And that's what I'm really passionate about helping people with. So if you're someone that is really looking to have clarity of what your path is going to look like and really step into the most confident version of yourself and live that life of fulfillment and have a business that lights you up, like I'm here to help. That's what all my programs are about. That's what my
Yeah.
secret sauce is really helping people find that in a holistic way with mind and with
Mhm.
body and soul. And, I have that intuitive nature in me that I think my clients love. So definitely reach out, connect, check out the podcast. I have a book as well. I think I dropped the link, kind of going more in depth with my story, and it's available on Amazon. So I think Karen has the link there for that as
Yes.
well. So there's many ways to connect, and I'm really excited to chat with all of you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cassandra. And yes, you guys, I have everything that you're going to want to piggyback on and listen to Cassandra's podcast. I can't wait. And I have the links there, so you guys will be able to go back and get those links, and also make sure you follow. And thanks so much, Cassandra, for being our guest today on the Stay True Committed podcast, and we hope to even do future endeavors.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Thank you. We will be back again, you all, next week with another episode. Bye.
Bye.